Well, good Thursday afternoon to you. Chris Hare here, the world champion crypto cowboy, bringing you that ICP update that we do regularly. And it may be trying to find some support here, or it may be getting ready for a tank. I think it really depends on what Bitcoin does here, but we're going to break it all down. We're going to start with an hourly chart, work all the way out to that weekly chart. So I'll give you some information that should get you through the week and for the next few days. But I am a world champion rodeo cowboy in the team roping and mounted shooting events, and I'm taking the strategies and the discipline that it takes to win those world titles. I'm bringing them right here to the crypto desk, and hopefully if you stick around long enough, I'll make all of y'all world champion crypto traders. So go ahead and like, subscribe, tap that bell notification. You're not going to want to miss a single episode. But we'll start off with the crypto fear and greed index, currently at 27. We're still in fear, guys. We've hung around 24 to 27 for the past few days. This measures market sentiment. It tells us people if they're fearful or if they're greedy. Right now, people are still scared, but I use this for my spot buying. When we drop into fear, I make small spot purchases. And when we drop into extreme fear, I buy a little more. Then I just basically sit on it, forget about it, and I start selling it off when we get into greed. It's a strategy that's worked well for me. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but we usually make money in the end. And you can see Solana and Ethereum were down double digits, probably 14, 15% at one time. Now we're back up to about 2%. Bitcoin in profit, in the green, 1.79 in profit. So we'll keep up with those. We'll figure it out. But if you need an exchange to trade on, BitUnex is a great one. You'll find a link to that in my description. I believe there's a bonus on your first time deposit, and you get a little better exchange trading fees. So go ahead and check that out. Pulling up an altcoin season index because it's relative to ICP. When Bitcoin moves up, when we're in a Bitcoin season, alts trickle up. But when Bitcoin dumps, alts absolutely tank. Right now, we are almost in a full-blown Bitcoin season. We've been slowly finding support and working our way up. Everything kind of seems to want to run. So the question begs, do we start working up in this and maybe get up to the 60, 70, maybe 75? Or does Bitcoin find a lower high and we dump from there? We'll break it all down. We'll figure it out. Moving out to the liquidation heat map on ICP. This is on the weekly. You can see there is a ton of liquidity below us right down here at about 361 or so. This is what market makers use to track your liquidity. Everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. And market makers just move the charts, grabbing your liquidation points. That's how the charts get moved. They just work it up and down. But cumulatively on this weekly, we've got about $4.5 billion worth of short trades. And to the long side, we've got about 3. So the imbalance is clearly to the top side, but I don't think they're going to leave this liquidity down here. I mean, they could. If you look, we're still putting in higher lows. So that's where I'm at with that. The charts will tell us a little more. Moving out to a big macro chart, you can see there's a lot of liquidity up above us still, but there's still a lot of liquidity below us as well. Cumulative totals are about 1.72 million on the short trades and 1.76 on the long side. So we're right in the middle. We're going to have to get into the charts to figure this out, exactly what's going on. We'll start off with the weekly chart. I post all these charts in the crypto school. You'll find a link to that in my description. You have direct access to me and a number of great coaches, so you're going to want to check that out. But moving on into the charts, into the meat and potatoes, what you guys are here for, you're not here to listen to me ramble. We've lost support on these 50 moving averages. That takes 50 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as excellent support and resistance. We just put in a bearish fair value gap. What I think's going on here is we probably get a retest, and the question begs, do we still find support above 353? If we lose that, I think you're headed to 320 to 292. If we can find support here, work out of it, I think you head up to this golden zone up here, get above that 50 moving average, 409 to 426. The 200 smooth moving average sits right there. That takes 200 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as support and resistance. So we're kind of in the middle. The liquidation heat map showed us that as well. So do we just range here? Do we just range through the weekend and maybe try to find some kind of move on Monday? Do we go up to 409 to 426? Personally, I think we're looking for some downside here. I would be looking for 326 to 292, but we may just range on top of this bullish fair value gap for a while it's really kind of up in the air here. It's going to be really hard to trade. The only reason I think that we might work our way up here, as you can see, we bounced off of an older fair value gap right at around 330, and we've worked our way up ever since. We're just finding support. So if we do find support here, the 50 moving averages on the 4 hour are right here. If we can break above these, then we've got a shot at 429 to 465. If we reject off of these, then I think your lower targets are likely 324 to what's that say? Right around 249. If we can get above these 50s, that's your next stop. Then you're looking at 760 to 864. That's going to be the lower high. And it's also an opportunity for a lower high on Bitcoin. So do we hit $11 to $13? That remains the question. I don't want to make any calls beyond this until we figure out exactly what's going on, where we are right now. It's going to be the teller of how high we go and how long it takes to get there. Moving out to the daily chart, you can see why I kind of feel like there might be a little more downside in the tank. We still haven't made this fair value gap. The top side sits at about 337. The middle sits about 315, and the bottom sits at about 293. If we can bounce there, then I think you head back up into this daily retracement zone at about 429 to 549. If we lose this fair value gap, market makers like to fill out anywhere from 50 to 80% of these wicks, so that's going to put you in the $2 range. I'm really hoping we get some kind of bounce here, work our way up. I think that's really what's happening, but I think we're going to have to find some more downside before we get there, maybe. The weekly tells you a different story. It tells us that we've found support right here at about 345, and we're working our way up. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days into the weekends. I'll keep daily updates coming. We'll figure this out. But if we can get above these zones, 682 to 818 are your targets, with an opportunity to hit 1211 to 1491. That's where I am today for ICP. I know this update is kind of clear as mud, but we got to get over some hurdles or get through some downside before I can figure out exactly where we're going from here. It's in the middle. I don't really consider it tradable. It might be a good place for some spot purchases because we're in fear, but that's kind of where I am for today. Tomorrow may be different. If we can get some better ideas on the structure on the lower time frames, then we can get an idea where the higher time frames are going. But that's going to wrap it up for today for ICP. Don't forget to check out all those links in my comment. They're the BitUnix, the Crypto School, great place to hang out, and you'll find a link to my X there as well. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. It's cold in Texas. I'm going to feed horses a little early. We'll circle back around this evening with your Bitcoin update, and maybe I'll do some other altcoins as well. Well, my name's Chris Hare, the World Champion Crypto Cowboy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you down the road.